Hi everyone, this is Courtney with Little Black Homes on the Prairie. Thank you so much for coming back. Today I'm going to talk about what I do when my parenting style doesn't match my teaching style. All right, let's get ready to talk. All right, so today I'm just going to chat about what I had to do earlier this week when my teaching style did not match my parenting style. So as a parent, I know myself, I am an authoritative person. I want things done a certain way because I said so, because I think I know best, because I have the experience, so just trust me. That is my attitude. Now, I know that that attitude is in conflict with the way I like to teach. The way I like to teach is being more of a guide, stepping back, let my children have their own experiences, do lots of observing, stay quiet, and allow them to discover things on their own. But sometimes the two clash. The I know it all parent clashes with the, you know what, you figure it out. Let's discover. You learn on your own teaching style. So earlier this week, we were making a cake. We're using a box mix, and my son, who is 6, took the bag out of the box, you know, the bag that the mix is in. So my suggestion to him, because I saw him getting ready to pull the bag apart, which I could just see the explosion happening. I was on a bit of a time crunch, and I thought, I really don't want to see this explosion happen, even though the teacher part of me is saying, let him just figure it out. Maybe he's gonna change his mind. And if it is an explosion, that's okay. The cake will still come out okay. The authoritative part of me was saying, I know better, and I just need to tell him how to do this. So I tried to make a compromise. I said, you know what, son? You don't have to do it this way, but my suggestion is that you cut open the bag going across the bag, because if you are pulling apart the two pieces, what might happen? He said, oh, it might go everywhere. I said, yes, that's my suggestion. You don't have to do it my way, but that's just what I suggest. Well, I stood back and he decided to not do it my way, okay? So he pulled the bag apart and the mix went up in the air, onto the floor, onto the counter. There's a toy wagon on the floor, went into the wagon. So the parent side of me was thinking, didn't I tell you to not do it that way? Like, I'm pretty sure when I was suggesting that you do it my way, I was telling you to do it my way. And then I thought, you know what, Courtney, this is not the time for it, and I told you so. Because I gave him an option. And when he did not choose option 1, I got upset. But here's the deal. Why did I give him a choice if I didn't want him to make a choice? If I just wanted him to do it my way, I should have said that, okay? So the conflict was not on him, it was on me, because I was doing something that bothered me by giving him a choice. So I had to take a step back. I had him clean up the mess. Inside, I was irritated, I was frustrated, but I was determined to not let that ugliness come out. So what do you do? Like, what do you do when you are trying to be a person that you just aren't naturally? Like, I'm not a naturally patient, compassionate, giving grace type of person. I'm more of a do it this way, get it done. Why are you making a mistake? I laid it out clearly. This shouldn't be an issue. And so I'm going to talk about what I had to do when I was losing my mind. So one thing that I've been doing that's been helping is getting a perspective, changing my perspective. So looking at my children in the way that God sees them instead of the way that I as a parent might see them, which is through a lens of frustration sometimes, through the lens of we've been over this 1,001 times. Surely we're not going to do 1,002 times. And I have to step back and say, this is a child. They're not going to do it the same way that an adult is. A 6-year-old is not going to do something the same way a 35-year-old is, because as a 35-year-old, I've done it many more times probably than a 6-year-old has. And guess what? They have less experience. They want to see what happens. He is a boy. I'm a woman. We're going to see things in a completely different lens. So I have to step back and make sure I am looking at my child through the correct lens. Like when you go to the doctor and you have to get corrective lenses because the way that you're seeing things is not actually how they are. That's what I have to do for myself. Step back and get like spiritual corrective lenses on and say, okay, am I seeing the situation the way it actually is? Or is my judgment being clouded by my emotions or by me being tired or hungry or whatever? So that's one thing that really helped me. Another thing is by admitting that I do know how to do something and that, maybe he doesn't know how to do it, and that's okay. And so we had some issues earlier this week with schoolwork where he is learning multiplication because he's asked to learn multiplication. Well, multiplication is a little more challenging than he thought it would be. And so we had some tears, some huffing and puffing, some I don't want to do this. And when I see the shoulders droop, the head go down, the bad attitude, oh, that sends me to a bad place. And I'm like, you chose to do this. You said you wanted to do this. So let's do it. Let's have a good attitude. And he was saying that, I didn't know it was going to be this hard, and I don't want you to have to teach me. I just want to know how to do it. And I could appreciate his honesty because it is hard when you want to do something well and you don't know how to do it well. That's frustrating. As an adult, that's frustrating. So I can't imagine as a 6-year-old how hard it is when you're excited to do something and then you find out, oh, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be, or I thought that I was going to be able to do this without help, and now I'm having to continually ask someone to show me how to do something. So we had to talk through that. What does it look like when something is really hard for you to do? And that helped me to have the right perspective of, just like I'm frustrated, he's frustrated too, because this is something that he wants to enjoy, but it's not enjoyable because it's not easy. So that's another area where I was able to step back, change my perspective, because what he spoke was the absolute truth. Another thing that I always think of is, if I was a teacher and I was in a traditional classroom and my son was just my student, not my child, how would I speak to him? Would I be respectful? Would I be compassionate? I hope that I would be. And that helps me when I'm getting upset or frustrated when I'm teaching, because I think, okay, if I was a teacher in the classroom and a parent came in, is my tone something that is appropriate? The way that I'm explaining it to my child, is that appropriate? Or would a parent say, you know what, I don't appreciate the way you're speaking to my child? And so I have to take myself out of, this is my child, and put myself into teacher mode a lot of times. And that helps me to stay on track and bring myself out of having a bad attitude. Because sometimes I think you should know how to do this, and I think it's a reflection on me. Like, if he or my daughter don't understand how to do something, then I am not a good teacher, or I have not explained something well, or I've done a poor job of presenting a lesson. And that's not necessarily it. It could just be something that's difficult for them. It could be something that's difficult for me to explain, and that's normal. It's normal for us to have challenges. It's normal for things to not be easy all the time. And so I have to remember that this is normal. It's normal to struggle. Everything's not going to be easy. Just like how my son was like, he wanted this to be so easy. And I'm explaining to him, everything's not going to be easy. But then to myself, I have to tell myself, Courtney, everything's not going to be easy when you're teaching. Like, it's not going to always be easy. So those are some things I learned this week in homeschooling. I feel like every week I'm learning something new. Every day I'm learning something new. And it is just as valuable to the kids as it is to me. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please subscribe to our channel, tell others about us. If you have questions, leave them in the comments or send us an email. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.